real estate is a team sport, right? And what do I mean by that? I don't mean like a team sport by like what most gurus say, like, okay, you want to get started investing in real estate? Great. You need to build a team. Go. Yeah, not that. Well, you do need that too, but not in the way I think they teach it, right? I think there's a better way to do it, right? And I guess it doesn't matter if you're into fix and flips or buying rentals or a wholesaler, really what you do in real estate. I think to be successful, you need a team, right? Even if you don't really call them your team, you just need to know people that do different things, right? You need to know guys that, I don't know, do cabinets. You need to know guys that, all sorts of people. I can probably think of anything, right? Pretty much know all the people that could really build a house, right? Because the reason for that is you never know what kind of issue you run into. And you can go to that person and be like, hey, I know you frame houses, and I bought this house, and this framing thing is weird. Can you help me out? Right? And most people are great, and they're like, hey, yeah, sure thing. How can I help? Right? So no matter what you do, you need to have a team of essentially, without saying everyone, but kind of different people that do different things, right? So I think it's a team sport, right? You can't just be sitting here like by yourself in front of a computer and do flips or do all that stuff, right? You need to get out and meet people. And obviously if you're scared of meeting people, then I guess you're not gonna get very far. I mean, you will. It's just it might take longer to get further, if that makes sense, right? You need to meet, and I think even like, for example, why it's a team sport, you can be on like a team with maybe an investor that invests in the same city as you do, right? A lot of people look at them as like, okay, that's my competition, right? I got to beat them again. No, you got to look at that like, hey, you're both in this market together. Maybe that guy's got a great relationship with like the electrical inspector, and you got a great relationship with the plumbing inspector. And, maybe you guys can like flip flop that relationship and help each other out. Or maybe that guy ends up buying 5 houses and he can't, I don't know, flip them all for some reason, doesn't have enough crews, and he comes across like 2 more, and you're over here with like 0. And you're like, hey, I know you're in the same market. You want these houses, and you like wholesale them too, and then you got a deal, right? So you got to look at everyone for advice, right? So like when I first started, I never had a mentor, and maybe if I did have a mentor, I would have been way further along than what I am. But instead of having a mentor, I surrounded myself with like a team. I say in quotations, I just surrounded myself with people that were more knowledgeable than I was in different things. So that way when I came across something, I'd be like, hey, guy that's more knowledgeable in whatever it is, what would you do in this case, right? And since most real estate investors, or most that I've met in this business, are really great people that want to help other people succeed, right? They'll be like, oh, I would do this, this, and this, or I wouldn't do this because this, and that, right? So I think it's just really, really important. And the same thing goes for like not just like flippers, but like landlords and like wholesalers and like all that stuff, right? I think the more people work together, the more they can grow together and reach way higher goals, right? So I guess what I was saying at the beginning of the video, what gurus tell you to do is to go build your power team, right? And that's like lawyers and like a title company and like all that stuff. But you don't just build that like awkwardly, like how they say it mostly, like, oh, hi, I'm an investor. You want to be on my team? Right? Like, no one does that. It's just weird. You're just like the weird dude at the party that sits in the corner and looks at everyone through his like weird glasses or something, right? Don't be that guy. You just got to be nice and friendly and like meet people, right? Like, I know it's hard to meet people now, but you can still meet people virtually, right? There's still like meetups. Like we have our meetup. You can come to our meetup and you can meet all sorts of people that do all sorts of things, right? They not only invest in multifamily, but they invest in other things, right? Maybe they're, everyone's got different backgrounds that maybe they still do while investing in multifamily, right? So it's just always really important to know, like, everything, just even like title companies and lawyers and all, you want to surround yourself with all these people, so that way when you do have an issue that comes up and it is time sensitive, you're not like fumbling around trying to figure it out. You can just be like, hey, what would you do? Or if you surround yourself with maybe people that are like more experienced, right? Like if you're just getting started and you're like, oh crap, I don't know if this is a deal or not, and I got to sign this contract, what do you do? Right? And if you really don't know, you can be like, hey, Tio, I just got this deal. Do you think it's a good deal? Do you think it works? And I'll be straight up honest with you. Like, that's garbage. Move on. Or, yeah, that's a great deal. You can probably, lock it up, get it under contract, and make 10, 15 grand off of it, right? And maybe I'll just buy it off of you, right? So that's why it's so important in real estate to surround yourself with other people that, even though they do the same thing as you do, don't look at them as like your competition. Kind of look at them as like a teammate, right? You guys are going at this real estate thing together, even though you're on different paths. You're on team real estate, right? If that makes sense. So try to surround yourself with, like I said, all those people that can help you, from more seasoned investors to even CPAs and lawyers, right? Like the list goes on, to painters, to foundation guys, to like all that stuff, right? Because you never know when you're going to be able to use them, or right, whatever skills you have, you never know when those people are going to be able to reach out to you and use your services maybe. So hope this helped, and meet some people in real estate if you're in real estate. And if you're in another business, meet some people in your business. So have a great night.